Hello, and welcome to episode 28 of the Monkey Business Show. We brought Peter back. What's up, Peter?
I love the Monkey Business Show. We're
You
always
love the
clowning
Monkey
around.
Business Show. And we have Sim today here. What's up,
Hello.
buddy? Very nice to meet
Hey,
you.
bro.
Never met you
Nice
before.
to meet you.
I'm a stranger.
Johan, you're back as well.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. Okay, well, we have a lot to talk about today, Dota related, and we thought it was really important to bring Peter, as he always brings this cheerful and joyly personality to everything he does. And obviously, Sim, I think was important also as well to bring you here. You know, you've been in the center of a hurricane or some of the drama or controversy lately. And yeah, well, I mean, come on, I'm not going to start with Alliance, but dude, how are you doing? You good?
I'm doing good. Just chilling.
Okay. You okay?
I'm
Let's get an intro.
feeling.
Let's get an intro from Sim. Sim, tell us everything, man. Who are you?
Alright.
Where'd you come from?
So I'm raised in England, London, all my life. My parents are Pakistani.
Okay.
So I've been playing Dota since I was like 12, like on and off. And while I was playing Dota, I was playing also football as well, like on an amateur level.
What kind of football? Just making sure. Soccer, you mean, right?
Yeah,
No, yes.
Yeah,
not the American one. Like, and then up until 18, I like got 7k MMR or 6k, and then I thought I could climb the ranks higher, so I kept playing more and more, and I spent more time being inside instead of going out. And yeah, here I am now playing Dota, trying to compete. But
How did you end up on Alliance? You know, getting on teams can often be a little political. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, where was your connection? Who was your
Uh,
friend?
I started off in 2019. There was like a last minute stack with Pexu for the qualifiers. We got into
Nice.
the close, but we didn't qualify to TI. I think it was Chaos with Matu in that team. They qualified that year. And then I decided to take a break to finish school. I came back last year and I was just grinding pubs. I joined this team called Into the Breach for the first season. We didn't do so well, so we kind of disbanded. And then Aramis kind of hit me up and saying like, "You want to try out for Alliance on offlane?" And I also switched positions when I was playing in Into the Breach, and I hesitated at first because, you know, it's like you're joining Alliance is kind of a big team, and I'm just some random guy. But I went with it, and we started trailing. I passed the trial, and then I started playing with them. Things were looking good. Of course, you know, we weren't winning every game, but yeah, that's how I kind of ended up being in Alliance.
Nice, man.
So what's your roles been so far? What's your favorite?
I was
And what did you...
When I was in 2019, I was playing mid, and then when I came back, I was playing offlane in pubs.
And what's your favorite? If you had to choose your role to start playing tomorrow, you know, that you would...
Offlane?
That would be nothing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it suits my personality as well. Like usually you have
Which
like
is?
a
Sociopath.
pos 4 leaning, a very calm person. Like you have your pos 4 leaning in the lane minute 2, and you're just there solo laning against 2 heroes, and you're just like, what can you do? You know?
I was gonna say, I don't know if like the offlaners of OG, I will define them as the calm person. We have fucking mad and a motherfucker. Not sure those are like the core lovable guys.
No, I would say that on average, it is probably one of those roles that require the calmer person. I mean, Universe and what's it called? There are so many of these offlaners I feel have had so much patience and learned to play like 1v2 and stuff. S4, of course. I don't know. I think it fits. Makes sense.
Okay. And Peter, you both were in Alliance in different iterations of this team. You saw very different works around. And yeah, did you guys saw the video, The Ascent, which is, I think, is the centerpiece of today's week?
Yeah, I watched a bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but you
Okay.
linked it to me, and
You was the
you
first
said
2
that.
minutes?
Yeah. I've seen it for the most part.
So tell me, how was it when you were there? Was it similar to that, or is that just like a bad misrepresentation.
Loda wasn't really in the picture when I was there. Loda is kind of like your guys' coach now. Is that correct? Yeah. So he's just taking a more like direct role, it seems. I think that he was doing something previously before they asked me to coach. Like the season before. I kind of forget the timeline of everything, but he was acting as a coach there. They got a new coach, that was me, and then then I guess Loda came back in and replaced me after I left. But very different teams, I think. I was with S4 and Limp and Hanskin and FNG, who are all no longer there. So it's just Nico Baby and a bunch of new guys, right?
And Sim, how was for you when you were there? The structure, the leadership, did the team feel healthy when you were inside?
Like when we first joined the team and we won Div 2, everything was kind of on the highs. Like the atmosphere, the feelings, everything was just good. Of course, we were losing a lot of scrims during that period of time, but it didn't matter because we were winning officials. And there were moments where it was like kind of dark and like kind of very emotional comments directed at me. I think there were like a lot of problems before I joined this team, and I ended up being, all these problems were like put on me for some reason, I'd say, most of them.
The scapegoat.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So sorry, maybe I'm a little out of the loop. Are you still on the team?
No, I left.
You left. Okay, you guys have like one more game left, but you guys are pretty much being relegated to Division 2 again, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, like not gonna finish the season, just gonna peace out, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of we had like this talk after we lost against, who was it? Did we lose the 5th game? I don't remember who, but we had this talk at night, at like midnight, and we were trying to be honest with each other. And Nico kind of went up front and just said like the org wants to, like, they are thinking of kicking you if your performance is bad for like the next few weeks. And when Nico was asking about everyone else's opinion about like how they felt when he said this, no one said anything. And then I decided to think about this all night and see where the real problem is, because I don't think the problem is just me. It can never just be one person's fault. It's a whole team collectively. And for them to kind of put the blame on me is surprising, honestly, because we have so many different problems, and it's not just, I wouldn't say I was playing great. Of course, I had my good and bad games, but I tried my best given the circumstances,
Yeah, to you, what do you feel like was like one of the most glaring problems with your team?
We
If you had
weren't
to just speak to something at a high level.
we weren't agreeing to one idea, because in Dota you want to agree to like one idea you have, and we always wanted to do something different. Like if you want to hit a tower, then someone's going to farm an extra camp where we don't need to, or someone's going to go somewhere else and do their own thing. Like we never followed one idea. That was the biggest issue. We had a lot of arguments about this as well.
And do you feel like the org itself, like like Loda, and I guess maybe just, I don't know how far it goes, but maybe Loda, do you feel like he's the one kind of directing these like roster changes and things, or do you feel like it's more
I think
within the team?
From what I know, Loda was asking about me, like everyone, like how they feel about me, and I think
Gotcha.
all of
Like
them.
so very leading questions is.
Yeah, he asked. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but from what one of the players told me is, he asked like if I'm ready to carry on playing like in the team, and they all said no. So this was after like I already made my decision to leave. We just had like these one-on-one talks, and everyone was like being more open about things.
So I actually wanted to bring, sorry Peter, I actually wanted to bring Peter and Johan on purpose to this conversation, because you guys are two of the most inspiring leaders I ever been around, inside and outside of the game, but you are very different from each other in some elements. I think, Peter, you had a much clearer idea of what you wanted to do and how you wanted to play, and I think that a lot of the success that EG had during those years were how you wanted to play it. Well, Johan maybe had a more of the idea of just free flowing. Obviously, I'm incredibly reducing this to something that I can say in one sentence. But
you're gonna piss both of us off here pretty soon.
Sorry about that. But like I wanted both of you to have that dialogue of, is this a healthy way of running a team? Is there better things we can do? Can you achieve success in different ways? Because I don't know. I'm just set up that conversation that way. Because for me, when I saw Loda's video, we're not on the OG way at all. Completely the opposite.
I'll let N0Tail go first.
I mean, not an easy question to answer. Is there one way? For sure not. Is there one way for every team? I would highly doubt it. I don't think so. I think people are very different, and depending on the group you end up with, I think a lot has to probably change with your dynamic power structure, hierarchy, and so on and so forth. There are probably healthier ones, and probably no team in the world where somebody feels bad or targeted, or there's Symetrical has a story with this. I wanted to ask your overall impression later of the Dota scene, but this story I've heard a million times. I've lived it a million times, or many times, and it is human nature, I think. But yeah, to answer your question, no, there's definitely multiple ways you can run a successful team, and there are multiple ways you're gonna have to if you're gonna want to do it with high success rate. I think a lot depends on then the group you end up with, the personality mix, how many strong voices, and all the different analogies you can throw at it, with too many cooks in the kitchen and so on and so forth. Some will be impossible to make work. Some will be extremely hard, but possible. Maybe very few are going to be easy, I imagine so.
I think, yeah, I'll add to that. I'll say winning is never easy, or at least it seems that way. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you go to your tournament and you're like, oh, this was way too easy. We're in the finals all of a sudden. But generally speaking, it's a struggle from beginning to end. And I think that finding the right group of players to kind of create that perfect storm where, it's chaotic enough that you're able to speak openly and address your problems and your weaknesses, but also positive and nice enough to where people still like each other and have that team camaraderie, and they want to win. They don't want the team to fail so they can blame that guy, which does happen, I think.
Yeah,
as teams kind of get closer to their end times. Does that answer your question, Jay?
It does. You guys are both very ESPN, very polite way of it, but it was a really good answer. I would say that you mentioned...
There's only one way to run a team. Only I know how to run a team. Is that the answer you wanted? Okay.
No, I think more of yes. Okay, so I understand the macro level of it. The macro level of it, there's different ways, but you said something very interesting, Peter. You said that when the team feels like it's coming to an end, you can feel it. And because I think that sometimes people are like, oh, why did you change this player? Why did you change this player? So how does it feel when you're inside a team? Because Johan, before Tile left, and you, PPD, have been in many times in this place. How does it feel internally? You feel that there's no solution, no hope, you lost faith?
Yeah, so there's these moments happen. I mean, this can literally just be one bad day of scrims, right? You go into scrims, you go 0-4, you go 0-6, all of a sudden it feels like your team is it's the new lowest of lows, right? It's what's going on? And as Symetrical sort of alluded to in his story, you have these heart-to-hearts, right? Where you have these honest, open conversations where you try to say, hey, this is your chance to kind of say what's on your mind, say what's on your heart, say it. So, and maybe it'll create a solution. I think when everybody kind of airs out their grievances, they kind of get out on the table. That's when your leader steps in and says, hey, I know times have been tough, but this is what we're going to do tomorrow. And hopefully, because generally speaking, everybody wants to win, right? Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants the team to be good. Generally, people will kind of come around, at least in the short term, to try to have some positive change. You can only do that so many times, I think. And at a certain point, or as you get closer to the end of the DPC season, or the end of the, I'll use my best example is with NIP at TI9. This is my worst group stage I've ever had at TI. We got eliminated. We got 17/18th, which is those are the only two real last places at TI, because you go from like 100K to like 500K in prize money. But anyways, towards the end of that group stage, we really felt like we were dead. Like those last two games, we had no chance because the team was just destroyed. Because there was two. I like to think that
Dota as a mental game.
we tried to fix it, right, many times. It just wasn't working. And people lost hope, I guess, is where it is kind of how it spiraled towards the end, which was unfortunate, but I don't know. I've never been on that roller coaster before, so it was a unique experience for me.
That roller coaster sucks, bro. You don't want to get on that ride, but sometimes you just don't know which ride you're getting on.
Yeah, that's the part of, taking chances, leap of faith, etc. So you're trying to drama bait, right? You're trying to
No,
get us
not
to
at
talk
all.
about this Loda video. You want us to like critique
No, I mean,
the
for
way
a
that
lot of
he's
video, I can just do it
leading.
myself. If I want to just bait him, just go on Twitter. But I was
So
gonna,
my experiences with Alliance when I was there coaching is that they were sort of aimless. To be quite honest, I don't think that S4 gets a lot of positive praise for being a very nice guy and being a cool, calm, collected leader. But in my experiences, I don't think that he was much of a leader at all. He was generally like the last person to show up to practice and didn't really contribute or share like his ideas to the extent that he needed to get everybody on board. And that caused the team to just sort of be aimless, and they avoided those difficult conversations rather than taking them head on. And that was why they didn't like me there, because I made them have those conversations. They just wanted to avoid the conflict in general. And I think that's maybe what Loda is trying to do with your team, or was trying to do with your team, Sim. I mean, who was the captain, right? Who was sort of leading things?
Stoma
from your side.
mainly, but like it was more of like a collective thing. Because I know in Dota, like you have this one main guy who has the ideas, and you have to follow this guy's idea, otherwise you get kicked, let's say. And
Yeah, there's clicks, right? There's certain,
yeah,
hey, these two players have more say than the other three.
like
Or
you have these timings from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and then from later on it's just how the players want to play. But we never really had the one main guy who we had to follow these ideas with.
yeah, so I guess my critique of that is, I'm not saying that you need like this you don't need this strong leader to tell everyone how to play Dota, but sometimes you need that strong leader who's willing to speak up and maybe say the wrong thing when when the room goes quiet, right? When there's that awkward, what do we do next? Somebody has to say something, and that's the leader. The leader is the one that steps up and says something when nobody else wants to talk.
Yeah,
And I think that's a void that needs filled on any team, I think.
Yeah.
So I spoke to Loda when I was coaching. We had like a phone call after the tournament, and we kind of had this like, heart-to-heart conversation about how we felt about the team. He mentioned a lot of the same struggles that I was having, where people were just avoiding the elephants in the room, and I can relate. And when I watched the video, I understand what he's trying to do. Is he going about it in the best way? Probably not, but that's very subjective. And I think he's just doing his best. Like, he's just trying to help the team in any way that he can.
Yep.
Is how I saw it.
Yeah.
just so you know, I was not really trying to drama bait, but I think that when I saw that video is first, Loda cares. He cares a fucking
Yeah,
lot.
he does care for sure.
He does
Like,
care.
he has no bad intentions in whatever he says, for sure.
And then I feel that for me, that conversation, from what I read, and I don't know, is probably a few months late, where frustration has already built, It has crystallized the frustration, and now it's just ranting and screaming. I feel that there were maybe healthier ways to not get to where you have to go and have that, Because by then, there's nothing constructive you're doing. When you're telling your players, like, don't be scared of fucking up, but be scared of fucking up. And then that's a very complicated message, So it's my job on the line, and I have to be scared. And I don't know. For me, it was like, look, he cares. That's why Alliance has done well in the past. But I really think that the world has changed, And maybe I'm just the boomer saying this, but everybody is more sensitive than they used to be before. You have to always be more careful how to speak. But also we've learned, that there are healthier ways to talk to people to enable them. And I don't know. That's what you said. It was very subjective, which is why you're here, Like, hey, what is your subjective approach or your subjective analysis? And when you have to speak, with a young Sumail that, like we talked about it was already starting to get a little bit more famous, and now he was more like, well, I don't need to listen to you, But you still have to get everybody in the room. It's tricky, And I don't like double guessing people from far away. I've never done that. But you guys have.
Yeah. Maybe, like, Johan, how do you guys go about those difficult conversations? I'm sure they happen, right?
Yeah, of course. And I think basically all of it has to do with absolute transparency. If you can be fully transparent with who you are, why you're there, and everything, I think 99% of all these team struggles tend to not happen. But it's also the hardest part. Things like, if the end of the year CI, it's an elephant in the room, or at the end of if you're a new team and you feel like each DPC season you want to reevaluate what you're doing, just mention it, talk about it, be open, be professional, hey, things are not fucking good enough. I don't think you're trying hard enough. I don't think you're maybe the right fit, and if you whatever it is, like, you can say it nicely, and you can be transparent, you can be honest about things, and you can do things in the right way, and there doesn't have to be any taboo. Sometimes it's really fucking hard, I get it, and sometimes you can't think of the words and the way to do things. I think it will happen to everyone, and it will take practice, but as a group, if you can do that, all these problems don't tend to happen as much. I also think that there is, of course, some times you are just going to be in bad experiences, and it might be out of your control, like it could have been. I mean, again, I think the beginning of the Ascent video doesn't make Loda look very good, because he seems super frustrated and he's sharing a lot of negative shit with the team, and it's like, this is what not to do in his position, especially. Like, I think he needs to have more headspace than anyone else to avoid this. Players, they get into the game, and like PPD was saying before, you lose 6 games in a row. For some reason, the world is just trash. Everything is shit, and that's part of the competition, and so on. But how do you avoid those difficult conversations? You don't, or like, how do you deal with them or cope with them? Is you just have to go through it. You just have to have them. I think it's the only way. Honesty and everything, and yeah, like, be real with each other, and then I think that's how you build any good relationship, with people in any context, kind of.
I guess my lead-up question would be is like you have these difficult conversations, you talk about probably the things that you want to change, the things that you want to do better tomorrow.
Yes.
What's the best way to sort of like memorialize those and put them into action, moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, there are things such as responsibility and accountability. People open their mouth and say, I will show up tomorrow at 3. Or somebody says, I need this is bare minimum from everyone. Everyone give me a fucking yes on this. Everyone says yes. And tomorrow they don't show up. I mean, you have 2 choices, right? You either go along with it, believing that it will get better, or you don't believe it will get good enough. Like, you're not willing to bend. It's like, are you willing to compromise on this or not? If it's also a reoccurring theme, because I've had to do that with players that were very talented and very good at what they do, and I've won tournaments and stuff with people like that. But I would still say that level of professionalism to me, is unacceptable. Like, yeah. But hey, it can work,
You guys
and
run a tight
sometimes you
ship
push
over there,
through.
huh?
You have to, I think. If you don't, like, you're screwed in these contexts, especially online, and people are far apart and whatever. It gets easier when you're together at a boot camp, because everybody has to look at each other, and suddenly, like, responsibility is through like 500%. But even then, yeah, you might have to ask more for people, and so on. Part of it can also be not sharing the bad emotions and sharing things the right way, because it doesn't help if somebody is feeling bad and sharing it all the time.
Do you have any examples of how maybe you did this with, maybe your current team? Like, you don't have to like name names or anybody or anything, but like, was there anybody who was like maybe not being the best professional, where you kind of had to remind them gently?
Sure. I mean, I think Misha is the most professional in the team, but I'm going to choose him as an example because
He can handle
I
it.
know that Yeah. So I think he led as a captain, as a person who also carries, I would say, at least twice the responsibility of anyone else in that team. And he's good at delegating, and he is giving responsibility to others, and he's not alone. But he, at the end of the day, is the one who has to keep adjusting the ship and adjusting things, if especially if some things are not acceptable or not right or not going the way they're supposed to go. He's the one that has to do things. And at times, I think he let things slide, even with warnings, even with people telling him that you're gonna regret this. He has, not done certain things because he does a million things every day and works incredibly hard. But then there were some things he just let slide, And I think you can. It's a learning process. Sometimes you also have to go through it, for people to have to go through it. But
And
how do you deal with it? It varies. There's also a level of acceptability, and there is a process. Like you're on that low as a team, and then you can get that positive spiral, and you start peaking later on. I also think that is part of the game, and that's part of like the nature of these practice regimes, that you might hit lows so that you can hit highs. But yeah, at the end of the day, it varies. I think some things are not acceptable, and you have to draw certain lines.
Is there any examples of things that you take to the team, or do you mostly kind of take it to Misha and then let him take it to the team?
Mostly, for sure, everything goes through Misha. I don't think I've ever intervened in the team. Maybe once at Stockholm, or twice. I have maybe said something. I have to say this, and then it's up to people. But
Yeah.
no, everything goes through Misha, and they have made a super system. And True helps a lot. Like True and Misha are the ones who often say things the way they are and the way they have to be said, and they're really smart with it too.
Who's
I
True?
think that's the main challenge of being also a good leader in a high intelligent type of atmosphere. Is like it is actually the way you word things, and one thing is how you word it, like be smart with the words you choose, but also just the energy that carries it. If you combine the two, you can get the messages across that you need to get. And often how you have to carry a message is so different from person to person.
For sure.
Yeah.
Some people are easy, right? They can handle the honesty just straight up. Other people,
Yes, and some people are soft, and some people are also just not ready for some things, but they can be if you really wrap it up in a certain way,
I'll give you, for example, I will give you an example from my side. Obviously, when we went to the major, there was like a first part of a tournament and a second part of a tournament, and I think everything changed after the Fnatic game. I think there was this OG magic that people talk about. You start seeing it, that it's happening. But how we got there is that what people don't think, It's not like we wake up every day, okay, the OG magic is there. No, it's like some of these things are, you have to work with them and you have to do that. And there's a specific things that has to happen in specific moments. But I think that big philosophy of OG is doing things through the captain. I think that that's something that Johan was always trying to do, empower the captain and empower Misha, because otherwise you have too many voices,
It's a lot of give and take. Like I would say there's the example of, what do you like to play? Oh, cool. How do you like to play it? Oh, you're not sure? What about this? That's one example. But the other example could be Seb at the major after a game that they maybe won, but they didn't play so well. He tells everyone in the room is like, okay, you can either waste 5 years of your career or you can listen to me right now. And that's up to you. It's, both can work, and it's timing, it's setting, it's how you carry the messages, as much as the message itself.
So what's the OG sauce made up of? What's the secret ingredients?
Johan and Seb.
Tears, Dota grinding, no soul left, bro. All you have is this, and then eventually, you just do what has to be done. Even if it is being super, whatever it is to be a super good teammate.
Yep. I picked you guys as favorites for that major, by the way.
Really?
You remember?
Damn.
Before Seb or with
I
Seb?
said with Seb. I said you guys and Tundra in the finals, I think. So I was a little wrong, but
Just by one game. Yeah.
I said
TSM
OG
lost
was
to
going to
Tundra,
pull it out in the end.
I believe that we were gonna win it after. Not. I'm not gonna say that we're gonna win it, but it's like I felt
after
that
the Fnatic game, people played better, and then I
Yeah.
knew we were likely to win. But before the Fnatic game, holy shit, no.
Was this sort of like your first big win as like a spectator, Johan? Or I know you guys have done well on other stuff, but
Yeah. No, it was. We just had the. I mean, there was like the Dubai where we won the first round, right? After the group, after no, how did it work? We had the group stage and then we won the first round.
We finished 4th in the Dubai, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, this was. I mean, obviously, this was the biggest win as a spectator for sure.
And
So
Seb's
what-
first major as a player. Believe it or not.
True. Yeah, so where's Seb, man? What's he doing? You just winning the major and then just retiring again?
It's
what's
like
going on?
Beetlejuice. If you say Seb too many times, he shows up as a player again. The guy has no fucking chill. Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, I
Sim,
think
I was gonna bring the question for you. Like, obviously, when you started to switch to off lane, like, who were the people that you were looking at or inspired you? Or like, I don't know, because you have obviously these two gentlemen in this call right now.
Honestly, for me personally, I don't really look up to one person. I kind of steal everything from someone because there's always something good you can take from a player. Like Amar, for example, the way he plays the lane is interesting. Seb, like with his play style, is interesting. S4 as well. Like, there's many players I always watch. There's not really one main offlaner that I look at.
Of course, I think that's how it should be. At the end of the day, you're playing against Monkey King or Doom or whatever hero, and then some people just show different shit on each hero.
Yeah.
I think it's important to keep an open mind. If you don't, you can lose to anyone.
So, Peter, what made you feel that we were that strong during the major? What was the... Is that how we did by winning the European DPC, or...
I just think everyone else is weak right now, man. Like,
God, it's a good point. It's a good point. I give you that point.
I tend to agree with you. I don't
Yep.
know what's happening. Everybody's shaking. Like, I think Secret's getting their shit together though, but yeah, like more and more. Like they were so bad before.
yeah, I'm just a fan, but obviously like a little bit biased. I just believe in strong leadership or good leadership, whatever strong and good are synonyms in this situation. But I just think like having Seb and N0Tail behind the team kind of just gave you guys such a unique advantage compared to what was coming from other teams. There's a lot of new talent in Dota, which is kind of surprising but cool. But you obviously see like when you're on the main stage in front of, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 Swedish fans, like things are different.
I mean, speaking about that, I think a part of it is still the new talent comes in because more old talent is about to also go out and has been retiring or, taking time off. Symmetrical, how's your DPC experience been? How intense has this type of Dota been? Because I can tell you it's not always been like this, far from it. This is not how competitive Dota used to look like. What do you feel like?
For me, it felt like it was very draining mentally and physically because you wake up in the morning. We were boot camping for like 2 months as well, each boot camp. So it was very long for me. And every day was like, some days it felt like a chore, honestly, which is not how it's supposed to be because you want to enjoy the grind and enjoy playing the game. And at some points, you kind of like question yourself why you're doing this, every day. Because we were losing a shit ton of scrims. Like, I feel like now I'm a very good loser. Like, nothing can stop me. I could lose another year and I wouldn't care, but we were losing a shit ton of scrims. Like, we were very inconsistent. Like, one day we'd go 6-0, the next day we can go 0-6 against the same teams. And I'm not sure why. Like, if there were problems before I joined the team or the problems like kind of built up very quickly when I joined the team. Like, I've been thinking about it for like the past few days and I can't really pinpoint every issue, but I know the main reason was that we weren't agreeing to one idea. That was the main reason why. And then there's like always small things like we're not working hard enough. Like, I think Aramis was playing the most pubs because I believe in hard work, especially as like a new player. Like, you can always play more pubs, learn different things from the heroes you're playing and stuff like this. And I don't think we were doing this enough, honestly. I think the person playing the least was Nico, and he kind of said that he didn't need to play pubs because the meta was the same for 1 year. And at first I believed him because I thought it was true, but then I kind of realized like people are playing different heroes and then he's stuck with his same heroes, Sure, he plays good on them, but it's hard for me to work around it sometimes. And I think in the end it didn't work out because there's other things like I didn't really align with Aramis sometimes. Like from the start, I was only allowed to play like 4 of my best heroes, which were like Mars, Timber, DK, and Tide. And then from there, we kind of like went off path with the heroes, and I started playing like 15 Darkseid games in pubs. I lost all of them. We played it in the scrim and we lost 15 minutes, and I didn't want to play Darkseid again. You know, like I think the build up from this team was wrong for me, at least as a player, because I'm also switching roles, so I need to develop my playstyle, you know, and find out who I really am, because I feel like I don't know who I am right now, honestly. Like as an offlaner, what my playstyle is, what heroes I like to play. I'm kind of lost, so I decided to leave for that reason as well. But overall, I think the stress part of it was something I could handle, but I wasn't used to the pressure. And I actually spoke to Bunkers about this, and he told me like you should just feel like you're playing at home. So I would spend 15 minutes just going out, because we live next to the dock in the boot camp, and I would just look at the view and listen to some music, and it helped a lot. You just think about nothing and empty your mind and come into the game like fully prepared, you know.
Damn, I mean that's a good habit to get in the zone, and it's always fun finding yourself as a player. I think, or that's even though I maybe at the moment you're like I'm not sure, whatever. Wish I knew something, but I think it's one of the most nice things when it's new and you don't know where it's going. But yeah, I heard you that you felt like it's a grind and shit. I can tell you that a lot of people feel that way, and I think the smart teams are finding out ways to cope with that more, and are doing a way better job than even we were around the TA10 times, because I think everyone was experiencing extreme burnout for us, and I don't think we were maybe smart enough with how we actually played the season out. But yeah, man, best of luck getting used to it, because I think it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not
Definitely
easy for sure.
now that we have like a more standard sort of system, like Dota used to just be crazy and madness, and there were so many tournaments and so many lands you'd have to like, hey, I'm not going to travel this weekend, like you'd have to turn stuff down. But now that things are like a little bit more regulated and scheduled, I guess that's an angle that I hadn't really thought about, is like how do you best prepare your year in advance, right? Like what do you need to do to make sure that
but it is a
your
higher
players stay
sacrifice.
motivated?
It is a higher sacrifice, I would say, Peter. Still, like playing this DPC, even being European in Europe, unless you're the team that never boot camps, then maybe you have some more, days and stuff at home. But I still find myself like this is more sacrificing than it was before.
Yeah, I always tried to make like boot camps like a second home. That's why I always wanted to be like, I know it's like more expensive to like be in the center of Stockholm, for example, but for me, like Aramis, you talk about going to the dock and like, listening to music. For me, every morning I would just like walk out and like get a coffee. That'd be like my morning thing to like get away from a computer and just like have my time. It kind of helped me level myself before I stepped into the office, I guess. And there's no place like home, right? You can't replace it. But if you can get someplace close, it helps.
Was it like that for you when you were younger as well, when we were in Alameda?
I wasn't in Alameda, man. I lived there for like a month.
When we were there for the boot camps, yeah, but that was like we didn't really leave the house at all.
Well, I have a lot of experience of just staying in the hotel, so I don't know. You gotta find something to motivate you. I get that it's more draining and more taxing now with the new schedule. I understand that. I don't necessarily disagree. I don't think anybody's like a huge fan of the the way that things have gone. But we're living in a complex world, so.
Well, look, we don't have to only talk about this. I also think that we have a lot of other things that we can review. Obviously, the North American League is upside down right now with Nouns doing really well, and now we have to figure out who's going to go to the major.
Yes.
We have the famous
Crypto DAO team.
The Crypto DAO team. We have obviously the tweet from Seb saying that Farah was the worst kicked ever, and then Chandra started doing better, yeah. And then Farah goes to Quincy Crew, and then Quincy Crew looks better than before, So.
Oh yeah, true.
I guess there's a Fada magic now in Quincy.
Fada's great. Big fan of Fada.
Serious or you're serious?
I'm serious.
All right.
I liked Fada. Him and I, we butted heads, but we butted heads in a good way. He was very positive, very constructive. A good guy to have in your camp, I think.
How do you see the North American Dota right now? As the expert on site.
Wait, I'm just looking at this. So this means, wait, hold on. This means that if EG loses, like Quincy has a chance to beat EG and 5 Rat 4 Step has to play Nouns.
Mm-hmm.
So then Nouns is going to make it over EG as well.
Yes.
So it's going to be Quincy and Nouns instead of TSM and EG.
Correct. TSM is not going to the major already. He
Or
cannot
there
go
would
to the
be
major.
No, I see that, I
potentially,
see
there
that.
could be
They
like
have-
a 3-way tie. Like it's usually a 3-way tie at NA, right? And then they have that last day where they all play each other. And
No, but that can't happen anymore because they only have one game left, EG and Nouns.
yeah, but EG beats Quincy. Quincy is 6-1. EG 6-1. Nouns wins.
Oh,
they're
now,
6-1.
you're right. Sorry, that 3-way tie. Oh, that's pretty hype too. Oh shit.
That's what always used to happen between
TSM
EG,
and-
TSM or EG. It was EG, Quincy Crew, and what was their name last year?
I have
The
no
TSM
idea.
guys.
TSM. It seems like
I'm
they're
dying.
Undying, yes.
Yes.
See, this guy
Good job.
knows. He pays attention. Yeah, so that's how it's always been. But the 4 Zoomers, aka Nouns, really stepping up this season.
Yeah, Seafreak, our boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm curious. Like I know they have their boot camping, right, which is pretty irregular for them. That's a new thing this season, so maybe that's really been the difference.
So it's because they're very strong or because everybody else is shit? And they're weak.
No, I think. Well, I don't know. I mean, TSM just got second at the major, and now they're not going to the America major.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's pretty sad. I think it's. I would say like. I mean, I think that these 3 or 4 teams are relatively good. EG looks much better with Fly. TSM, they came off a big tournament, but you're only as good as your last game, so things can slip. And yeah, you've got some a hungry Quincy crew sort of reunited with Leslau, who I've always been a big fan of, and now they have Fada, a true captain. And I'd say, I mean, to me, like Nouns is the big surprise, obviously. Just because like I wouldn't look at any of their players, and no offense, but I just outside of like maybe Husky, I wouldn't put a bet on any of them really being like big successful Dota players in the future. Maybe that's too based, but I mean, prove me wrong, right? Like, be my guest. Like, good for you. Like, they don't care what I think, nor should they.
I love when you talk like that, Peter. Like, I do it too, right? I think it's how everyone should be. Like, fuck it. Like,
Supposed to be
why do
like
you care?
Gunner.
It's my opinion.
Gunner had his chance with me on NIP. He didn't impress. I played with Moo on when I came back and played a little bit in NA. Was not that fun. I think Z-Freak has been playing a lot of other games throughout his career. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, I mean that's been an issue for a lot of my ex-teammates too.
A lot of other games, maybe those life sucker games known as the MMOs.
I mean, Path of Exile, man. Oh my
Path
god.
of Exile, World of Warcraft, like you name it, like those games they'll suck your life away, right? All of a sudden you're not playing 6 pubs a day, you're playing 1 or 0, and you're just showing up for scrims and then off to your other game.
I have a story with somebody that I know, which I would not say their name, had a second account of Path of Exile, so we wouldn't know when he was playing.
Not smart. Yeah, that's good. I
Yeah.
think. Well, yeah, obviously you just go invisible on Steam, right? Amateur
That's
hour.
true.
But they might see you in the game. Like my company, Esports Engine, we started a WoW Classic guild when it kind of got restarted up, and our boss man is he's one of the biggest players. So we it's like we're all on WoW during the day, during work hours, but we're just not saying anything about it. It's just it's like if he's playing, I'm okay to play, right?
Is Boss Man online? Oh, he's online. I can go play.
Hey, Johan, can
Yeah.
I do that? Every single time I see you say playing, can I play too?
Yeah, sure, bro. I haven't touched Dota in a month and a half, so you're fucking working. I'm looking.
I see.
I like Husky though. Husky's
Husky?
a new.
I didn't
a
know
new
much about
5.
him. Where was he before?
He was on the 4 Zoomers team. He's just
All
a
right.
young guy. Yeah, up and comer, new 5 position. I don't know if he's a strong captain type, but he's good.
Uh-huh. And what do you have to say about Europe and what's happening right now? It's also been quite crazy.
Let's check out the standings. OG #1. What a surprise! Guaranteed major classic. You guys are coming to Texas?
Yeah, dude. Of course. You coming?
I'm actually not going.
No.
I have to go. Yeah, I'm leaving for London
Okay.
like the Monday. So I mean, I could fly from Dallas to London, but it seems like too much. So yeah, what's crazy over there? I don't see anything.
Well,
You
like
got
Secret
Alliance,
and-
O12, Sim, thoughts?
There's gonna be some tiebreaker with Entity and Secret, I think, because Entity is gonna play against Alliance tomorrow, and I know the results.
Entities. Oh, you know the results.
I know
Oh,
what
wait.
the result will be for tomorrow's game.
Oh, I thought you said it was like pre-recorded, like it was
No,
already
no.
done. Who's replacing you?
I think it's some Russian guy. I don't know.
Some Russian guy.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
he used to play in Hellraisers, I think. I don't know his name though.
Draxar? Something like that?
I don't know.
All right, so what's surprising about EU to you?
Well, I think for me it was Secret. We were
I think Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah,
as
and
well,
Gaming
right? Gaming
Gladiators.
Gladiators. They were number
2.
1 on the first tour and then 2 on the second.
Yep.
All right, who's got some hot takes? I did NA. I think I did more than enough on NA, so you guys got to be the experts over
I
there.
mean, same thing with TSM. I guess like they made it to the major. Maybe that was enough. Now fat and easy. You just chill. No, I don't know. Dota is not easy, bro. That would be my takeaway for like Gaming Gladiators. Like, why did they not also then get good enough? Maybe I think they were a pretty limited team in terms of draft, and I think when Dota looks like this and it's like this with all the teams grinding, everybody grinding all the time, you're gonna have to also expand and reinvent meta and get with it and whatever. So that would be my light take on it, And then I also think it's fatigue, potentially. Fatigue, at least for if they've been really grinding the first 2 seasons and now it's season 3 is like again and again, like I can see how it's hard.
That's right. There's 3 seasons this year, right? There's only 2 last year, I think.
I mean, there were supposed to be 3 like lands, right?
But the first
one
major was canceled. So you guys did
the
the
online part.
4-week season just for fun.
Yep,
Yes.
just for fun.
Hey, and $27,000. Okay, it's just
Yes, also true.
For 7-8 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Do you still watch a lot of Dota, Peter?
Yeah. I watch a lot. I actually play a decent amount still.
Oh, you're playing.
Yes.
No shit.
Nah, I
A
went
possible
on like
comeback or
I went on like a 6-game win streak, and then I went on like a 7-game loss streak, which I haven't touched it since. So I'm on break. But
you win 6 of them and it's like I'm ready for TI. You lose 6 again.
dude, I
it's
was
like,
I was about to hit like 8K. I know it's like nothing, but like my MMR is like I've always been like 7.5 to 8K in NA, and I was about to hit 8K MMR. I was like, I figured there was some inflation, right? I had to like catch up to my real rating. So I was like down to rank 300. I was like usually 100 or whatever. So I was like, I'm just going to win. I'm just going to keep winning until I get to my real ranking. But then the loss streak came in, and it was bad. It was just like
Oh, the classic.
forced losses, But no comeback for me, I
No?
think. Well,
That's what they all say.
EG was trying to negotiate. They wanted to bring me on. They wanted to sign me, but I was too expensive for them. So
they
I
went with
declined.
Tal. Tal was
yeah,
the second option.
he really lowballed me. I think he went way down.
So you think that EG will play better with Tal than with Jesse?
Yes, of
But
course.
the same learning curve, or it's just they have the same upside with Jesse than with Tal?
The team with Tal was insanely good. They got like second at TI. They got second at 2 majors, right? I mean, they have Nightfall is like the only new player now, really, replacing Ice Ice Ice. I think that's an upgrade, personally. So I think they have a great roster right now. I don't see why they can't be super successful. Any disagreements, N0Tail?
I don't think they'll win TI.
No, but I mean, top
That's
four.
not good enough.
Top 4 is pretty good.
Not good enough.
Well, what would you, if you had to?
There's only one place that's good enough, bro. Otherwise, can't.
All right, so would they need a new carry? You got to replace Arteezy, or what are you thinking? Sam, you got
I
a fresh
think yes.
perspective, man. What do you think?
I feel like Arteezy always chokes at TI, and he's been playing for
This
so
guy,
long
man.
that.
Take it easy, man. There's a lot of RTC fans listening, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm just being honest. It's just my opinion. He does choke in TI. Like, it's very easy to see. But I don't know what's up with him. So
You
I
know,
also think he chokes in longer games for some reason. I don't know what's going on with his late game view, but it's usually way off, I think, from all the other carry players. Like, yeah, and that could also be partly leadership. But I think it's been so many years now that if I were to make an EG roster that would work with, like, I think Crit is really good. It definitely can win TI with how good he is. I would say Abid, also good enough. Yeah. And then the rest, I would find new people, honestly, like if you want to get top one. But I don't know. It's not easy finding these people, you know? But I think these two for sure have what it takes. And the rest, they have to change, you know, like more has to change, you know?
yeah.
But it's true that they had good results in the past, but still,
I
don't think it's enough to win.
was curious about this. So when you guys made your new OG team, did you guys consider Crit as 4 position, or was this too much of a amateur roster for him to be interested?
Well, probably a bit of both, but I would say it's really weird between some people in competitive Dota, and I think that's also one where for some reason it's pretty weird.
With what, the shoulder beef or what?
Yeah, that, but it's also pre-OG stuff. Like, it's just very different ways of like looking at things, I think. Life and stuff, you know, and then I don't know. And I would say in OG has always been like, you know, a lot of open conversations, a lot of this and that, and for some people it's too cringe. And in the past I think it's been too cringe for some people. Yeah.
But in full disclosure, I did message Andreas and I spoke to him and he was like, look, I'm happy in EG. And
Yeah.
pretty much what Johan said, you know, like I'm not sure if I want to get like a bunch of young guys. But it's also, it's not like we committed to please come and join us. It was like, hey, Andreas, what's up? What do you have in mind? You know, what are you looking at? And I think that Tommy's personality was probably more in sync with what Misha wanted to build, you know? You know, Tommy was more like nurturing,
sure.
loving, creative. And when Misha came, you know, Misha, I mean, I wish we had recorded. Okay, this is how we're going to play. It's going to be fun. We're going to be very strong. And, you know, Tommy was like, awesome. And can we do this? And then he was like, yeah, we can do that.
I like Tommy.
You know, so Tommy came with like this, like Misha called it like energy generator and a generator of ideas. And Misha was receptive to all of his ideas. So I think the vibe was.
Well, obviously things are working, right? I wasn't trying to say that. I just think
of course.
with Crit,
I'm happy
it's always been, he's been so loyal to EG for such a long time, right? And it's like they're always, you know, always always the bridesmaid, never the bride, sort of a thing with EG, it seems. And, you know, would he have a TI ring, right? If he stayed in Europe and stayed with OG, would he have more majors, right? Or did he make the right decision, you know, committing everything to EG and RTC? So
I don't know if he made the right decision, but he made the decision that he wanted.
Sure.
Very, very clear. Yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, we're doing like a lot of gossiping and just having fun, right? So that's the thing is like, I think we all agree like Crit is probably one of the best Dota players in the world.
It's amazing.
Especially at his position. You know, he should be a top 3 of TI every year.
I would say, like you said, obviously it was the first message that we sent. Hey, great. What do you have in mind? You know, what are you up to?
Yeah.
It would be reckless for us not to at least message him and say, you know, he's been so good for so long.
So, sorry to change the subject randomly, but I think we're done here. But Sim, what's next for you, man? I know we're coming to the hour. So,
I mean, there's not really any point joining a team right now. I'm just gonna play pubs and just grind it out. Maybe cast some games. I was thinking of casting because, you know, it's always English, British people on the panel talking. I could be some analyst or something. I don't know.
That accent, huh? I think you
Harry
got
Potter
it.
accent.
Yeah.
Harry Potter accent. Yep, Harry Potter, man. You sound just like Harry Potter, man.
Do I?
Yeah. You went to Hogwarts?
What's the famous Harry Potter quote? Can we get him to say one?
Expelliarmus.
There you go. It's just like him.
Expelliarmus.
Yeah, that was perfect, man.
Thank you.
Do you think about joining like a close qualifier team for TI? You know, see who's up, what's up.
No, I don't think
You need
so.
a 5? You need a 5?
5?
5 position. I have dabbled in the past.
That's only 2 players out of 5 though. So
Let's put together a team for the qualifiers, man. Is it open qualifiers?
No,
Can anyone
close.
play?
So you have to get someone.
You have to join in a team.
Fuck.
That's why I
That's
don't want to.
It's ridiculous, man.
That's why I don't want to join, because you need to join a team.
I mean,
They gotta
between
fix-
us,
they gotta
there is
fix that
ways
for
to
next year.
circumvent that. This Peter, I don't know. Remember after last year with Mid1, he got him, Mushi, and Ohio got together and pretty much just got a tier 2 slot, and that was it. You know. Okay, this is our new team, and it was like they just built a team from scratch.
So you just come in and cloud on some younger players and just say,
I
like,
know.
hey, man, better luck next
You-
year.
Correct.
It ain't-
so
it ain't
that is
your
the
time.
way. That's the way to do it.
No, I think I would not like to do that. It's a bad look.
And how about you,
But,
Peter? What's up with your life in general outside of Dota? It's all good.
Working hard, man.
Yeah.
Hustling over here. So, running esports, making the world go round.
And you, Johan, are you gonna join a close qualifier team of Valorant?
Thompson.
Only if no, he's too young. Only if Seb goes and everybody is above like 28, then I think we can. I'll join it, and we gotta come up with a good nickname. And yeah, I'll be down.
You
I
can
have-
play with
for fun.
Gok.
No, no.
I can
we
play
are.
4, so it could be me, you, Seb, right? You play 5.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
Johan's
yeah,
gonna play
Seb.
carry. What are you talking about? You can
Wait,
play
Seb
5.
only
yeah,
play-
I can play carry. Yeah,
Seb
yeah,
is
yeah.
5 now. We got too many boomers on the team.
Seb doesn't put words. He just plays on that lane. Peter, I don't know if you saw the podcast, but we talk about how Amar wouldn't let Seb put wards during the game
Yeah,
because
I
he didn't
watched
know how
that.
to ward.
Yeah, well, I agree. Court play, like these young court players, they actually know how to place their own wards because the wards are free. They grew up in that world.
Oh, it was
Where,
so funny watching Seb play 5 at the major, dude. It's so much fun. Like all the pain, all the shit, that 5s go through, he didn't understand in the past, and now he's like, he came to me so many times saying, "Johan, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what I said."
At least he wasn't playing Lich or Ogre back in the buff days.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
He played a few games of Bane, and the message that I got in the middle of the night was, "I'm not fucking playing Bane anymore. Fuck this hero. This hero is
think
fucking
that's-
boring."
I think that's why me and Netta and Fada didn't get along because I played too much Ogre Magi. They were always just pinging me in game, telling me to bloodlust them over and over. And I was like, it's on cooldown. Like, I know to do this. Like, stop saying it. It's like too much conflict.
Dude, Peter, every
Couldn't
single
survive.
time we come to this podcast, I always, I missed you so much on the scene.
I
Come
miss
back.
Dota too, man. I miss Dota.
Come back.
But maybe one day. I'll find
One
my way
day.
back in.
Do you want to be part of a Monkey Business show? A more like a recurring guest?
You need the help, huh? I have my own show. I
You
talk
have your own
about
show?
yeah, I talk about blockchain gaming, Web3.
Okay.
Yep. I'm plugging it. It's called Bullish on Gaming. Check us out.
Please plug it in.
Weekly shows.
We'll put the link on the description.
Yep. I'm the crazy crypto guy. It's okay. I understand.
Hey, we're crypto
You guys are
enthusiasts in this
crypto
company.
friendly over
Yeah,
there?
of course.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, I'm glad
See-
you're woke.
Yeah. I saw your comment yesterday on Twitter. I thought it was really interesting. The FTX and the nouns and the DAO and
Yep.
and I actually
Yep.
researched the noun DAO after I saw your message because I didn't know much about them.
Yeah.
Sim,
They're
what do you want to
interesting.
plug yourself? And this or anything that you want to promote or say to your fans or anybody that has been wondering what the heck is going on with you and all this? You have a few minutes or a minute to talk.
Any guys who can get me to casting, please contact me, because I'd love to do it. But other than that, I think just excited for the future. Like, I know it's been stressful for me, but honestly, it makes me more motivated to play, regardless of what happened in the past. You always got to look at the bright side of things, So that's about
100%,
it.
man.
Indeed. And you, Johan, anything you want to plug?
Get my first Harry Potter in a live stream. Oh, I can't do it.
Do you want to bring Sim into your stream? He doesn't let me cast with him because he says that I have no fucking clue about Dota, which he's actually right about.
Yeah.
He's right
well,
about.
yeah.
Yep. Just
No, I'm super down. If you want to cast the next OG game next week, I'm casting every game.
Sure, I'd be down to join.
I'm capable to do anything. I can do play-by-play.
You
I
got
can
you got to
better
be the hype
This guy's
caster.
talented, man. He's
I'm
talented.
not the
Okay,
hype caster.
cool.
I can talk about
I
anything
got you,
else.
fam. I got you, fam. You'll be my analyst,
All right.
my right hand.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Peter, it's always a pleasure having you here. Sim, dude, good luck in the future, and we'll see you on the Johan cast. And Johan, we'll see you casting the next OG game, even though I think it's after this podcast comes out.
Yes, and I'll be even more 10.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody. Cheers.
Thank you very much.